Sora 2 and Veo 3 are playing two completely different pricing games. One charges a flat rate per second of footage, the other splits between a per-second API and a credit-based subscription, so cheaper depends entirely on how you generate. Guess wrong on that, and a batch of clips can eat a month's budget in one afternoon. 5 tests decide this: quality, speed, price, style control, and where each one is even still available, with a running scoreboard the whole way. And the price test alone is close enough to flip the final score. Test 1, output quality. Say you're rendering a product demo for a client, and the motion is just off. Feet slide instead of walking, and a hand clips through a coffee cup. The whole clip reads as fake in the first 3 seconds, and that's exactly the kind of mistake that gets a deliverable rejected. Community reports point to Sora 2 winning this one. Users describe its physical realism and motion as the most convincing of the two, with weight, contact, and momentum that actually behave the way real objects behave. Veo 3's output tends to look polished and cinematic, but it comes across a touch less grounded in real physics. Sora 2 also pulls ahead on voice and dialogue, handling rare accents with more expressiveness than Veo 3 manages. None of this comes from a lab benchmark, you know. It's community consensus built from people actually running both tools side by side. And when that many independent users land on the same read, that carries some weight. So test 1 goes to Sora 2. Drop a comment if output quality matched what you've seen in your own projects. This is the test most people care about first, and it still might not be the one that decides the winner. That's 1 for Sora 2, 0 for Veo 3. My name is Brian, and I'm in these tools 12 hours a day, so you don't have to be. Test 2, generation speed. A tight deadline doesn't care how good your footage looks if it isn't finished in time. Render speed is where that clock either holds or runs out on you. Veo 3 generates an 8-second clip in roughly 8 seconds, according to vendor-reported figures, which is about as close to real time as this category gets. Sora 2 doesn't have a published time to generate figure anywhere in the current research, so I won't pretend there's a number to compare it against. There's a resolution trade-off worth flagging here too. Sora 2 Pro can output true 1080p, while Veo 3 tops out at 720p, so the faster tool isn't automatically the sharper one. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Test 2 goes to Veo 3, mostly by default since Sora 2's own number is missing. And the test that actually decides this video's title, the price, is coming up next. The scoreboard ties up at 1 for Sora 2, 1 for Veo 3. Test 3, pricing and credits. Run the wrong pricing math across 100 clips and you can burn through a month's ad budget on generation alone before a single video even gets edited. Sora 2's standard API runs 10 cents a second at 720p, or 5 cents a second on its batch tier. Sora 2 Pro climbs to 30, 50, or 70 cents a second, depending on whether you're rendering at 720p, 1024p, or full 1080p. Veo 3's API runs 40 cents a second on its standard tier, or 15 cents a second on the fast variant, following a vendor-reported price cut. On a straight per-second basis, that puts Sora 2's base rate well under Veo 3's. So basically, Google backs Veo 3 with credit-based plans that Sora 2 has no real equivalent of. Google AI Pro runs about $20 a month, and Google AI Ultra runs around $250, and each one bundles monthly credits you can spend in Flow or Whisk. Some users even get a free monthly credit allowance with no subscription at all. Sora 2's API is a pure pay-per-second meter, so casual users without a card on file don't have that same free tier cushion. Test 3 goes to Sora 2 on raw rate, though this one comes with a catch worth holding onto for later. None of that pricing math matters if the same character can't hold its face across 2 clips in a row. That's 2 for Sora 2, 1 for Veo 3 now. Stick with me, because the last 4 tests are where this decision actually flips. Test 4, Style Control and Consistency. Build a recurring mascot or a host character for a series, and if that character looks like a different person in every single clip, the series is dead before it starts. Reviewers also describe its style controls as more reliable for painterly or illustration style output, specifically. Veo 3.1 takes a different approach, leaning on reference images and first and last frame control, instead of an automated profile system. That works well, but it takes more manual prep, and it's reported to hold an edge on photoreal lighting and multi-shot continuity once you've done that prep. Sora 2 takes test 4.2, that's 3 for Sora 2, 1 for Veo 3. Sora 2's character cameo API reportedly hits over 95% face consistency once a developer uploads a character profile for reuse, a figure OpenAI has claimed, but that outside reviewers haven't independently confirmed. Sora 2 is 3 tests ahead now, but none of those wins count for much if you can't actually get to the tool to use it. Test 5, Platform Availability and Limits. Build an entire workflow around a tool, and it doesn't matter how cheap or consistent it is if the thing just stops existing under you. Sora 2's consumer app closed on April 26, 2026, and its API is scheduled to sunset on September 24, 2026. Even before that shutdown, it was only ever available on web and iOS. Veo 3, by contrast, is live right now on both Google AI Studio and Vertex AI, with no shutdown date on the books for it at all. Test 5 goes to Veo 3, and it's not close. That's 3 for Sora 2, 2 for Veo 3, heading into the recap. Sora 2 walks away with 3 wins: output quality, the raw pricing rate, and style control with character consistency. That's a strong showing for a tool built around automated character reuse and a rock-bottom per-second rate. Veo 3 takes 2, generation speed, and, more importantly, the fact that it's still standing. Google's tool isn't running out a countdown clock the way Sora 2 currently is, and that single fact changes how much its 2 wins are actually worth. If you want the lowest per-clip cost and you're generating stylized or character-driven content right now, pick Sora 2 because its rate and its consistency tools both win outright. If you're building something you plan to keep running for the next year without migrating platforms mid-project, pick Veo 3. It's the only one of the 2 without a published expiration date. The overall default pick is Veo 3, and the reason comes down to one line in the research. Sora 2's API sunsets September 24, 2026. A cheaper rate on a product that's already scheduled to disappear isn't actually the better deal once you count the cost of rebuilding your workflow a few weeks later. One thing the docs don't spell out is how those 2 facts collide. Sora 2 wins the pricing test on paper, but that win only holds for a short window. The same API charging you 10 cents a second is contractually gone by September 24, 2026. Spend real budget building on Sora 2's rate today, and you're renting a deal that expires on a fixed date, not locking in a permanent advantage. If you want to see how Veo 3 stacks up against Runway Gen 4 on pricing alone, that breakdown is coming next. The credit math over there gets messier than either tool covered here.